This is going to be our pilot episode.
The pilot of Flickznchickz.
The podcast pilot titled Flickznchickz, where we're kind of going to go over everything from obviously the photography and videos and filmmaking to life experiences.
Videography?
What?
Videography?
What about?
Photography? Videography? You mean that's what you meant to say?
What did I say?
You said videos and stuff.
Filmmaking and videography are really the same thing.
I'm aware, but for the sake of my OCD brain, you said photography. You might as well say
photos and filmmaking on my side of the room.
There you go. And photography and
Chicks
videography.
and tricks on this side.
Bitch. Well, as you can see.
Am I wrong?
No. Nobody asked you for your opinion,
exactly.
Woman. Okay?
See?
As you can see, we're pretty close homies. I'm
Oh, you said your full name this time.
Shut up! Just talk.
Well, the first time you said Smith, and now you're saying
I don't care. Both of which pertain to this man.
For their sake, you gotta pick one.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Flickznchickz. My name is Smith.
That's what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay. You already know me. It's your boy Narcissus coming at you from Key Studios. How's it going over there? Like I said before, this is going to be our podcast pilot of Flickznchickz. Once again, I'm doing photos and filmmaking. And on this side, it's going to be chicks and tricks. By tricks, I mean this man's a pro when it comes to snowboarding,
I was about to say, what do you mean by chicks and tricks?
Not tricks in the bad way, tricks in the good way.
Yeah, I don't be outside like that unless I'm hurting myself, as you can see. He's outside enough. No, I'm not.
But for this episode, for the pilot, we wanted to come in and do introductions. I hated I said the first time. And kind of just give you a little, hey, who's who. I mean, you guys know who I am from my channel. But for our what's the word I'm looking for? Our co-pilot, our
co-host,
we know nothing about him just yet.
Co-podcast E.
Co-podcast E. That works too.
No, whatever. Whatever floats your boat, actually.
So let's get into that. So, we're going by Smith for this podcast.
Cool.
Tell us, Smith, who are you and what do you like to do?
My name is Smith. I like to do a lot of things. I love music. Music is like my best friend. I take music with me along with every single thing that I do, whether that be snowboarding, video games, freaking driving cars, working on cars, and motorcycles alike. Yeah, I do a lot of things. I try not to be like sectioned into one specific genre of anything, because I think that, I think that having a little bit of a dabble in everything is never a bad thing necessarily, so long as you do it in a healthy way, I guess. Does that make sense?
That makes sense to me. I understand that.
Yeah.
But now, since you're on that topic of a little bit of everything, there's always one thing above all else that you like a little bit more than the others.
Ooh.
What's that going to be?
That's hard.
Mm-hmm.
See, I really love things with engines. I really wanted to be a mechanical engineer when I was a kid. I know it's a crazy career to think about when you're like sub 12, but that's what I was thinking about, I swear to God. And then I ended up like working on cars and stuff like that. And I guess anything with an engine or that I can like take apart or learn more about as far as like mechanics are concerned, I really jive with. So like I love cars, probably the most. That was my first love at heart because that was the first thing that I could do. I've been driving cars since I was 13. My grandma taught me how to drive stick when I was a kid, and to this day I haven't owned an automatic car. I pride myself on that. I probably never will own an automatic car if I have a choice.
Well, unless they die out entirely.
You heard what I said. But then I got older. I had a couple of cars. I mean, up to the point of 18, I probably had 6 or 7 cars. And when I turned 18, I got my first motorcycle, and that very swiftly became the love of my life. However, and this one too, it's just not as bad as this one is. The motorcycles are something that I might have to give up for a little bit, as much as I love them. Just because I keep hurting myself. In the past 2 years, bro, I rode motorcycles for 7 years straight, right? And never crashed a motorcycle. And then last year, I don't even remember what happened. I think a deer or something like that jumped out in front of me on the road, and I laid my bike down, broke my ankle and my foot. And that was like the first kind of mess up that I had with motorcycles. And it didn't necessarily scare me. It just motivated me, I guess you could say, to become a better rider. I also had to rebuild my motorcycle twice based on that crash. And when I first bought it, don't listen children, okay? If you're anything like me, do your due freaking diligence when it comes to buying things, especially, I know I'm gonna catch so much flack for this, off of Facebook Marketplace, okay? Okay, learn from my mistakes. That sugar honey iced tea is not fun, okay? Because like, you look over things, and say, oh yeah, it's good, and then you get home and you realize that your title's been signed by 4 different people. And then it's like, well, I just spent a lot of money on this. Now I have to fix it so that I can ride it legally. But if I hadn't done that and I crashed that motorcycle, not only would I have been broken, but I'd have had tickets.
Oh, for
and
sure.
no motorcycle. So like
screwed.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah.
Now to hit you with a even deeper question. It's gonna be good.
I'm scared.
This is a question that I don't ask many people because it's a relatively new question I started asking people because I got asked it once, and it changed my look at things a little bit. And this is again getting deep. What do you think is the purpose of your existence? Like, what is it that makes you tick?
You know what's crazy, bro? I don't want to get too philosophical. It's the first episode.
This is that pilot. This is the getting to know us.
I know. But that's a really hard question to answer. Obviously, you know that. But for me specifically, it's a really hard question to answer because for a long time, I used to pride myself on being the person that everybody liked. In growing up and dealing with a lot of people, BS, different situations, or whatever have you, I could care less if you like me or not. As a matter of fact, I'd rather you didn't because it makes my life easier, right? But if you do, I'd like you to like me for me and who I am as a whole. And if you can't do that, then I don't want you around me. I say that to say, no longer do I pride myself necessarily on how people view me, but I think that I pride myself on being able to make a difference in the people's who I care about's lives. Does that make sense? Did I say that properly?
100%.
Also just, I'm trying to learn myself. Everybody's learning and growing every day until the day we die. So I'm just trying to learn and be the most comfortable and okay with myself so that I can be the best in whatever situation this beautiful world we have here decides to throw at me. And Lord knows it decides to throw a whole lot of sugar honey iced tea at me, for sure. I think you should ask me that question at a later date when I have.
Come back to it.
Yeah, not today. Like maybe a couple episodes down the road. Yeah. We'll come back to this. But I'm gonna say just being able to be the best person for the people around me that I care about and love. For now, that's my answer.
I respect it.
Before we keep asking me questions, you got to answer that question yourself. Buddy.
You want me to answer?
Absolutely.
It's deep, really.
100%.
Right?
Nah, because I really always think about it. Not always, but it sometimes comes across my mind, and inside of my own head, it's really hard for me to answer that question to myself.
It's one of those questions. It's like when people ask you, "What do you want to do for a living?" Right? It's like what you want to do for a living should line up for your reason for a living, right? Like I don't want, like, for instance, working on like a shop. Right? Not really anything wrong with working at those jobs, but like for you and I, that's not an option, right?
No.
But like, say you work at a shop, right? 30 years, you're a cashier or whatever.
Hey, all of our shop writers, we love you.
Yeah, it's a good starting point. Unless you become like a manager or something, it's different.
Right.
But like, you shouldn't be there for like your entire life, right? Like, I feel like everybody has a purpose and like a grander reason for being who they are or like around, and it's up to you to figure out what that is. And like, for me growing up, like I didn't know what I wanted to do, right? It was like, oh, go to this job. Oh, other people told me this is a great job. This is what you do for the rest of your life. Retire, pension, all that stuff. Like, yeah, it's cool. But then I actually discovered like my work, what I love to do, right? And then once I found that love, I found like my reason for existing, right? And in another question I've asked people, right? I've asked my friends this a couple times. I was always like, if you could summarize who you are and what you do, right, in one to two words, what would it be, right? Just everything about you. If I say who are you, what do you do? You tell me one or two words about you that could define it to a T. What would it be, right? Mm-hmm. Right, and my answer to that would be a storyteller, right?
Are those your two words?
Yeah.
Storyteller?
Yeah.
Interesting.
All the films and stuff that I do, like, it's all just telling stories for people to enjoy, to watch. Yeah. You know, to hear, again, these stories that I have here, to put it in a visual medium that everybody can enjoy.
I like that. Not to cut you off, I think it's kind of weird. It doesn't really make much sense, but I think my two words would be
like, it doesn't have to be two, but like two just.
No, I like two.
Ahead,
Yours is low key a double entendre too, but we'll get back to that.
Okay.
Mine would be I would say excitement bringer. No, that's Cap.
That's Cap.
That's Cap. Damn, bro. Bump me up. Yours is storyteller. Mine would be energy bringer.
Okay.
In a lot of different ways, sometimes positive, sometimes negative. I think the best thing about my whole journey of learning things about myself is that I have no issue with being real with myself. As a matter of fact, I would rather be real with myself because it helps me to weed out the BS from other people and from myself. Sometimes I'll be BSing for it. But all of my excitements or energies, no matter the situation, they're always quite genuine. Even when I don't want them to be necessarily, you know what I'm saying? So definitely energy bringer. But your storyteller is a double entendre because you film, photography. 1,050 words can be said in one picture, even if you don't see the whole thing.
That's what I'm saying, storyteller.
Right. On the flip side, in editing and post, this is also for photography too, but specifically with videography, there's so much that goes into that stuff, and this dude is he's a madman, bro. He's really good at what he does.
Hours, bro.
So yeah, that I love that storyteller thing. That's hot.
But it's a good question, right? Like, sure. It also kind of brings us to the point, like, how well do you know yourself? Be able to summarize your entire existence and who you are in 1 to 2 words. It really kind of makes you sit and think about like who am I? You know what I mean? So it's like nice, like, because that's what I give people when I meet them. Oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm an actor. I'm a filmmaker. Director. It's like all that is story to tell. Whether you're playing a character to tell a story, or whether you're making the story and having other people play these characters that you created for other people to see, And again, with pictures too, it's like you could take, like, your background, I'm looking at it right now, right? That day, I remember that day, like, we got to the park, we had all the clothes, you did the backflip, I took the picture.
Hey, wait. For those of you who are just listening and not watching, I just a whole hand movement to this table in front of me because whoever is watching is going to see the picture that he's talking about.
Oh my god, that was good. That was good. But again, you remember that day, the clothes, what we did. And again, that's a picture telling a story, and that's just my job, is to be a storyteller, whether it's capturing a story from, like, for someone else to remember to tell, or for me telling my own stories. It all kind of just goes together, and like that's once I discover like that's who I am and what I'm meant to be doing, right? Then you kind of like your life changes, right? You can't do anything besides that. Like I can't work any other job besides something with photography or filmmaking or acting. It just doesn't cut close.
Right.
Like, sure, you want a job that pays the bills, but like I also want a job that Makes me feel good about myself.
Right, you don't want to be working just to make a paycheck, bro. Because at the end of the day, money is just money. You're gonna make it, you're gonna spend it, you're gonna lose it, you're gonna make it back again. So why are you gonna spend time at a place that you absolutely freaking hate if you can be making money doing something that you at least halfway enjoy or can like find excitement out of in order to make your money? It makes work that much easier. That's part of the reason why I do what I do for work as well. I guess I can get into that. I'm a snowcat operator in a place. I don't know if I should disclose that, but I'm a snowcat operator in a place, and for as long as I could remember, in a place, yeah. For as long as I can remember, I've always looked at heavy machines, like in the backseat of my mom's car or we're on the highway, this big yellow freaking, I didn't even know what it was at the time, just this big yellow thing on the side of the road. What is that? Oh, that's cool. I remember being like a kid in my grandma's house and she was giving me books. I think one of the first words I learned how to spell was like emergency or fire truck or something like that. Followed by excavator and then bulldozer. See what I'm saying? You can see where I'm going with this. So what was I getting at? I enjoy like, you know, being able to make art, I guess you could say, with large things. And that's why I do my job. It's that much easier for me to go to work every day, even through all the BS of dealing with a boss or dealing with special events or whatever have you that goes on. That's a part of my job. At the end of the day, when I get in that machine and I sit in the driver's seat behind the sticks is what we say, nothing matters at all. And I'm willing to bet it's the same thing for you. It doesn't matter if you have to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. As long as you're picking up your camera.
Or you're up till 5 a.m.
Right.
editing. I don't care.
As long as you're picking up your camera.
It's fulfilling who you are.
Right. And it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Because you're going to enjoy. Even if it's a bad day for you necessarily, or not necessarily. Even if it's a bad day for you in general. Right. Or you wake up just in a poo-poo mood. Get up. Start taking pictures. You're like, damn. Just a picture. Like, damn. You
can be tired as hell.
Yeah.
And then you just get that one good photo, that one good shot, and you just that energy's back up. You're like, all right, another 5 hours of this. I got this. 100%. You know what I mean?
Bro, put it this way. I'm up all night a lot of the times. However, I was challenged last night to do something that I not necessarily haven't been challenged to do, but not as fast with the quality of work that I would like it to be at, which is what it ended up being, of course, in the amount of time that I did. And as much as I hated the fact that I had to start so late and finish so early to get all these things done, I did it. And when I was done, I was like, damn, I did that. I really did that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then I look back on it like, wow, I rode until 1 o'clock.
Did you really?
Yeah. I rode until 1 o'clock. I snowboard as well. We'll get into that as well. But I rode until 1 o'clock. And then I came up here. So yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is find something that you enjoy, or find something that you can at least enjoy a little bit, if not most of, rather. And work itself will be significantly easier. Like my job, I've been working it for 2 years. I've never worked at a place for that long, consistently, ever. Exactly. That was like, what? That was seasonal, so I was only there 3 months.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was, yeah. Still counts, I guess, because you did come back every year, so.
Yeah.
This is good conversations, though.
Yeah.
These are the conversations that are good for this kind of podcast. Yeah. Just cooking with fire right here.
Cooking!
Just cooking with, as my boy Ellis would say, he's like, we're cooking with grease, you know, that popping off, you know, like burning yourself, that pop, pop, pop.
Yo, you ever cook bacon in a pan with no shirt on?
You just cook anything in a pan that's going to be popping like that. You regret your life choices real fast.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, why did I do that? I am an idiot. Why would I choose to deliberately do that to myself?
Learn from your mistakes, that's why.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Bet you ain't gonna do it again, right?
No, you wear layers.
You wear layers.
You wear like a vest and a shirt and gloves. You're ready to take on the world like that.
Gloves to cook, bro.
Sometimes you gotta. You ever
wearing gloves to cook, brother?
You ever make like breaded chicken? You know, like chicken nuggets.
I'm gonna preface this with I can't cook, so no.
If you don't have to further specify by this, when you don't have the right cooking utensils and pots and stuff to be doing said specific cooking, it doesn't work in your favor. I don't have the right pots and pans to be making fried chicken like that and whatnot. So it's not a pretty sight. Let's put it that way. Gets the job done.
Gets the job done. That's what matters.
There's a lot of cleaning.
As long as you're...
And a lot of mess ups.
Absorbing nutrients, brother.
Doing what I have to do to stay alive.
Why don't you tell the homies something that they wouldn't have otherwise known about you until watching this here pilot episode? If anything. Let me see if I can try to... Let me see if I can... Try to...
I have no idea.
I don't know. How did you come across filmmaking as a whole? Like, what made you realize that was your thing? Like, was there a certain picture that you took or video that you took, or was there something that you were doing that you wanted to record so bad that made you get into it? Like,
I wouldn't say it was like that necessarily. Like, so I got into acting in 2019. That's when I did the background for the Will Smith movie.
I remember that.
And after that, because that was June of 2019. And so then later on that year, I did some other background stuff. You know, I did some stuff with Tom and whatnot. And then...
Shout out my boy Tom, our boy Tom.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. And then, February of 2020 came around, and I got into a auditions intensive mastery class. And then, obviously, come end of March, COVID happened, right? Shut everything down. There's no acting, no nothing going on. And I wanted to, like, keep trying to do stuff to, like, progress myself, because I had already fallen in love with it at that point. Like since the first thing I did, I fell in love with it. And so I was using my phone on the camera to do stuff. I bought a gimbal for it. I started talking and becoming better friends with this girl named Sam. And me and her, she lived 5 minutes away. Me and her would go out and about. And she'd have her rollerblades on. I'd have a little longboard, and I'd make little videos of her skating. And at the time, I felt really proud of those videos. I was like, oh, this is so cool.
I remember those videos too. That's crazy.
And then I was like, because I was watching how to get better and editing and stuff, and then I realized, like, this camera's not that good. Let me buy an actual camera. And so I bought an actual camera, my first one, my M50. And at that point, I didn't know anything about using a camera, let alone how to take a proper video with a camera. And I was like, let me get to know the basics of a camera. So I started taking pictures. And Sam was my guinea pig, I should say. She was getting free photos, and I was getting experience.
I was that guinea pig at one point.
We were just out all the time, just taking photos and stuff. I won't say all the time, but like she was like my number one person. She was she is the reason I got as good as I did so fast, because she was so willing to like be there with me and do stuff with me. Like, if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have excelled as fast as I did, because she was so down for it. And also, we had just nothing but time, because COVID, So, doing that, and then, like, there's a couple photos I took after I got a new lens for my camera, because, I was still learning about what makes a camera good, how to take better photos, and it's all about the lenses you get. And I had gotten a 50mm lens, took a photo with it, and I was like, yo, this is changing the game right here.
This is crazy.
I got cracked out. I got a new lens, and I was like, who wants to take photos? Who wants to go do stuff, And then I was taking some photos. And then the transition from that into videos, once I got good at photos, I was like, all right, I know everything about a camera as far as photos on this side of things. I was like, as far as videos, like, yeah, it's a switch of a button on a camera, but as far as the actual operating,
it's so much different.
It's a lot more thought into it, because in a photo you can set it up real quick with the lighting there and boom, but in a video you want moving parts to it. They're going to be moving around, the light's going to change. And once I started to realize the effort that goes behind making a proper film, like the way you want to look through and through, I was like, ooh, this is a challenge, right?
Yeah,
I like the challenge.
I was going to say, to anybody who hasn't made a video before or tried to make a video before, I'm willing to say we challenge you, right, to think about any type of idea that you might even think is cool. Let's just say like a 1-minute video, right? And try to make it happen and see how hard it is to understand what he's trying to explain right now.
It's tough. Especially a 1-minute video is tough.
Straight up. It's really hard. Like, for real.
Cram so much
it is
in time.
really, really, really hard. Like, and I'm not like an expert photo or like video maker by any means. Actually, this is the guy right here. But like, I remember trying to put together my first TikTok video, like while at work. You see what I'm saying? And it was like 2.5 minutes long of the same exact thing, right? And I thought it was gonna be so cool. And then I posted it on TikTok and got like 20 views. No likes. And I was like, why aren't people liking this? Like, I think this is cool.
Yeah.
Why don't they think it's cool? And then I had to realize that, like, one, not everybody thinks the same that I do, or as I do rather. And two, there's just some stuff that doesn't need to be in the video, you know what I'm saying? Especially if it's the same thing over and over again. So yeah, we challenge you. Try to make a 1-minute video, or however long, it doesn't matter, but try to make a video. But make the idea in your head first, and then try to make it in the video and see how hard it is. Go ahead.
Like not just like the idea. Well, make it 100% as you see it in your head. That's the hard part that people don't understand. Like when it comes to doing photography, it's like, yeah, you got the weapon, for a better word, the tool you use to execute this. Right, it matters, right? But what matters mostly is like your eye, like seeing it in your mind, to be able to translate it through the camera to be able to present it in the way that you see it, that people can understand. Like when you're doing photos and videos, like you're showing people how you view the world, right? It's like viewing the world through your eyes, through the camera, right? The camera's capturing what you see, what you visualize. And like with a photo, it's like, yeah, you could put something here like, oh, that can be a cool photo, and take the photo, right? But when it comes to filming, it's putting the pieces of a puzzle together to make one cohesive, understandable piece of art. And people think like, oh, it's just like about the acting and this and that. It's like, no, like the lighting plays a part. The camera movement itself plays a part. Like there's so many pieces that have to go together smoothly to make this machine run properly. And once I got into that, it was a struggle, I'm not gonna lie. It was definitely like oh my god, this is tough. Especially when I want to start doing like, how do I make this look like this? And get into more of the editing and doing special effects, because I'm a big nerd. I like sci-fi stuff, so of course I want to include that in my own videos. And once you
voice editing theory is crazy.
Well, I'm trying. We're cooking at it. We're
crazy.
trying. We're still in the we're still in the microwave stage. We're still in the microwave stage. We haven't learned to cook with the fire yet. The grease. And again, once you get to that point, when I got to that point, I was like, ooh, this is exactly how I visioned it in my head. And then you kind of get a drive to keep doing that, but also to keep getting better and upping the challenge and the difficulty from the last one. Like I was doing like little small stuff, but then I was like, all right, how can I make this a fly next? How can I make, people super speed or whatever, or my vampire stuff, like make them do the whole smell thing, like, or the disappear thing I was telling you about. Yeah. Those little things, And so I think that's really how like that all kind of like came to be, Yeah. But you have to love it though.
For sure.
That's like the most important. You gotta love what you're doing to be able to continue to do it, and also push yourself to get better.
Absolutely.
Just
for the same reason, like he was saying, you have to love it in order to want to do more things. Like I'm currently the trainer, for like a better way of putting it, at my job for new people when they come in, right? And every single person that comes into my job to try to learn how to operate this machine, I ask them, are you here to make money, or are you here because you want to learn how to operate this machine? Because if you're here to make money, you're not going to be good at operating this machine, straight up. Like, and even if they say that they're here to learn how to operate the machine, it always shows in how many questions they ask, how much attention they pay, how they listen to me when they're operating the machine and I'm sitting passenger trying to explain what's going on, why this and that happens. So the reason I say that is because when I first started working at my job, it like, as much as I knew what I was doing as far as operating machines go, you can never learn too much, right? So I went in like I didn't know nothing about even touching a machine, you know what I'm saying, other than getting into it and getting out of it. So I asked every single question that there was to ask, sometimes over and over again until I understood, or I would find a different way to ask the question so that it would make sense to me when the person was to explain it. Or I would go home and try to find an answer to the question myself. Never mind asking somebody at my job. Not that they told me to do that, but I wanted to learn how to operate the machine the same way you wanted to learn how to get better with, filmmaking or editing or whatever have you. So find that thing that you enjoy or that you can challenge yourself with, but that you can still get some type of monetary base with so that you can live, obviously, and work becomes so much easier, even through all the BS. Straight up. Yeah. I think we call it pilot.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
It's definitely a deep dive into getting to know who you're talking to.
For sure. I mean, I tried not to get too philosophical.
It's all good. But those questions are the ones I want to ask everybody. Like, what's your reason?
Yeah.
It's good.
I like that.
Summing yourself up in 1 to 2 words. It's good. It's deep.
No, yeah.
It's deep.
You got it, boy.
Mm-hmm.
I see you.
All right, let's send this off, I guess, right?
Cool. Well, Flickznchickz. I know this hasn't had anything to do with chicks, at least. Yeah, a little bit about flicks.
It's more so a catchy name and to get people to click on it. Get people to click on it. We're going to talk about girls, obviously.
We're gonna talk about
because we have plenty of stories from over the years,
experiences, things that we've learned.
We find it so funny though. We can talk about it now. It's so far removed, sure. But it's not gonna be like just like talk about chicks. It's about like life stories and whatnot.
Yeah,
and, like,
the only reason that we would be talking about these chicks is to explain the things that we learned from them. The same way that we're explaining like what we're learning in my job and like filmmaking and photos for him, for sure. It should be pretty cool. So stay tuned, motherfuckers.
You heard it here, folks. From Smith and your boy Narcissus over here at Key Studios. This has been the podcast pilot, and stay tuned for the next ones. This will be fun. We're gonna have people on, talk to about what they do for work and living. Keep it how we talk about here, like asking the same questions, kind of keep getting the vibe and just getting more information on like how to like apply it to our lives as far as like lessons and learning how to go through life more smoothly, taking knowledge from people's experiences.
By the way, we do not have everything figured the hell out. So don't think we do.
Oh no.
Not to say I'm a mess.
We're still in our 20s.
Working on it.
Yeah, we're still in our 20s.
Yeah.
Like it's just not
for sure.
Like we're 60 and we've been through life.
But like even if it's somebody who's older than me, because like most of my friends are older than me, right? And I'm not saying that I have all of the answers or experiences, but if there's something that I've been through that maybe somebody else hasn't, and I can extend at least my experience on that to possibly help somebody else on that, I don't see why I wouldn't. And this is kind of like my, let's say, platform, for lack of a better term, to do so. So that's like older and younger people, or even people my age, you know what I'm saying? Everybody goes through stuff. Everybody has a story. And that's why this exists, so we can, share and learn
100%,
at the same time.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Cool. Flickznchickz, fuckers.
Cool. See you in the next one.